Welcome to the Mitch Zone on WPCX 97.1 FM. Here's your host, Mitchell Mercer.
I want to welcome you to the Mitch Zone here on WPCX 97.1 FM here in Clinton, South Carolina. My name is Mitchell Mercer. Today is Wednesday, September 15th, and today I will be previewing PC's football game versus Campbell this Saturday. But before we get started with today's show, I do want to provide a friendly reminder that none of the ideas in this show are ideas of the school faculty of like. Everything discussed in these shows are in line with the Title IX, the Garrett Book, and the law. All of the ideas expressed today are conceived by the students themselves and have no affiliation with any anti-government or xenophobic groups. Now with that out of the way, I want to welcome you again to the Mitch Zone, here on WPCX 97.1 FM, here in Clinton, South Carolina. And good Wednesday, everyone. It's probably going to be a shorter episode today because I know I got some school stuff I got to do and some other priorities I have to work on, but I do appreciate you guys for tuning in. I hope all of you guys had a great weekend. I know I certainly did. This past weekend was actually my 21st birthday, and had a really good time. A lot of my family members came down from various places. I have a brother that lives in Raleigh, North Carolina. I have a sister that lives in my hometown I grew up, shout out to Fort Mill, South Carolina, and then I have a sister that lives close to PC, who lives in Greenville, South Carolina. So I'm happy my family members could come down and visit, and it's a pretty good birthday. Like I said, 21st, had a really good time hanging out with my family, and then on Sunday I actually got to go to an NFL game for the first time in 2 years, ever since the pandemic started. Got to see the Carolina Panthers play the New York Jets. This past Sunday, Carolina won the game 19-14. Really good game, I thought. Really impressed by Sam Darnold with the Carolina Panthers. I thought he did a really good job, and I thought Christian McCaffrey, with him being back healthy, I thought he had some really nice plays in both the passing and the rushing game. DJ Moore played really well. Terrence Marshall, the rookie wide receiver from LSU, had some really good plays, and then big shout out to Robbie Anderson and then Sam Darnold for making some really big plays. I know they had that big, I think it was a 70-yard touchdown kind of near the end of the first half. And I kind of feel good because obviously, they were previously with the New York Jets, and the Jets really didn't believe in both of them, and having them score some big touchdowns. Really proud of them overall. So, and this probably was a game that Carolina, I think, should have won maybe by I don't know, 10 touchdowns or maybe, just because what I'm trying to say is that, you had that fumble kind of in the fourth quarter that Sam Darnold and Christian McCaffrey muffed a little bit and New York recovered. But really, a good win by Carolina, really good win for Matt Rule and company. And then for New York, I was really impressed. Definitely really passionate fan base. I was really impressed by the fans overall. They came out, they supported the team, and Zach Wilson, he did have some rookie moments, but I thought what really impressed me about Zach Wilson was he was able to scrim out the pocket, considering they lost their left tackle Becton to an injury, and then you kind of have some weaknesses on the offensive line, and then the way that Zach Wilson was able to escape out the pocket, I thought was really impressive. Corey Davis had some really good receptions as well. I think New York's running game needs to improve a little bit, and then I think the defense. I think the defense will improve over time, and I really like Robert Saleh, their head coach. I think he's going to do a really good job, and I think with New York, I know this is probably going to be a tough season. This is probably going to be a rebuilding year, but I think New York's a team where they kind of remind me of the 49ers a little bit a few years ago when Kyle Shanahan took over, because I think Shanahan started Brian Hoyer probably 0-8 or something, and then they had that famous trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, and then I think they won 5 of their last 6 games or whatever. And I think New York's is probably going to be in a similar situation. And I think, even though this year might be tough for Robert Saleh, I think the future of the Jets are in pretty good hands. So, really enjoyed that game on Sunday, and then really watched some other football as well. Thursday I watched Tampa hold on to the Cowboys. I'm really impressed by Dak Prescott and his return, but can't never rule out Tom Brady. Seattle defeated Indianapolis 28-16. I thought Russell Wilson played really well, especially that Seahawks defense. I thought they really attacked a really strong Indianapolis Colts offensive line. Kind kind of one of my surprises. Houston defeated Jacksonville, 37-21. Really impressed by Tyrod Taylor. I thought Brandon Cooks played really well. Trevor Lawrence kind of struggled a little bit. It's kind of shocked me. I think 3 interceptions now. There was a report before that game about Urban Meyer, how there's some tension going on in the locker room, how he's having a hard time adjusting. So keep an eye on that. I think that's going to be something that will be very interesting to watch as the rest of the NFL season plays on. Chargers defeated Washington. I thought Justin Herbert played really well. Philadelphia, Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts, the former Alabama duo, played really well in that game, demolishing over the Atlanta Falcons 32-6. Pittsburgh came back to beat Buffalo, 23-16. Josh Allen kind of played a little sloppy in my opinion, so no panic for the Bills, but I do think that's a team that kind of needs to improve. San Francisco, this was a crazy game because, I thought San Francisco dominated the game, but again, kind of similar to Buffalo, to kind of play a little sloppy near the end. But, I thought Jimmy Garoppolo played really good. I thought Trey Lance, he had some nice moments, but still some rookie moments. Deebo Samuel played really, really good for the San Francisco 49ers. And then I think Greenlaw on the 49ers defense played really well as well. So good one for Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers. Vikings and the Bengals, Joe Burrow and Jamal Chase played a really good game in that one. Cardinals over the Titans, really another surprising one as well. Kyler Murray was just unbelievable in that game. Great shout out to the Arizona Cardinals defense, because I think that's, heading in, that was kind of my biggest concern. But they were able to hold Derrick Henry to some lower rushing yards. So big win for the Arizona Cardinals. Kansas City beat the Browns in a pretty good game as well, 33-29. Patrick Mahomes played pretty good in that one, leading the Kansas City to a comeback win over Cleveland. And then Dolphins over the Patriots. Really good game by both Tua and Mac Jones. This is the main difference is that Damian Harris had that fumble kind of near towards the end zone, which kind of cost New England the game. But still really two good teams that I think can make the postseason. Denver beat New York 27-13. Teddy Bridgewater played pretty good in that one. And then Packers lost by 35 points to New Orleans against Jameis Winston. I think Jameis Winston threw for like 5 touchdowns with no interceptions. Aaron Rodgers didn't do a really good job. Kind of shocking. You kind of wonder if Aaron Rodgers' passionate for the game isn't there. So keep an eye on that one. The LA Rams defeated Chicago 34-14 on the Sunday night game, and then Las Vegas defeated Baltimore 33-27. Really crazy ending in that one. I was watching the game a little bit in overtime where Derek Carr hit Bryan Edwards for that big reception, and then I already thought that they won, and then refs were like, no, you still gotta get in the end zone. And then Las Vegas, Alex Leverbird had a false start penalty, and then Derek Carr threw the interception, but luckily the Raiders defense was able to get the forced fumble on Lamar Jackson, and then they were able to score a touchdown. So great job for the Raiders for overcoming the adversity on Monday Night Football. So basically that's kind of the recap for NFL. And then in terms of your Presbyterian College Blue Hose, they defeated Fort Lauderdale in another big victory over the Eagles, 68-3. Really good job by PC's offense again. Really good job. Brandon Heffley, 24 completions, 325 yards, 4 touchdowns with 2 interceptions. Tyler Huff came in as well, had 8 completions for 113 yards with 2 touchdowns. Matthew Rivera had a 51-yard touchdown pass from Tyler Huff. Jacoby Jones had a 2-yard pass from Heffley. Kerryon Turner had a 25-yard pass. Jalen Witcher had a touchdown. Jay Martin of PC had a 98-yard interception return. So really another strong offensive performance, and really good job by the PC defense as well. I thought they played a whole lot better, only limiting 3 points and then having that interception return, and then limiting the Fort Lauderdale Eagles to 40 yards. So another big solid win by the Presbyterian College Blue Hose. Now, here's when the schedule gets a little bit trickier. So, PC now plays Campbell this Saturday at 6 o'clock p.m. here on WPCX, where we'll have our pregame show at 5:30, and then we'll have the game, and then a little postgame show right after. But really going to be an interesting game because Campbell and Presbyterian, former rivals of the Big South Conference, and now Campbell is still in the Big South. Now PC is kind of in the Pioneer League, and that's going to be a really interesting game. And now Campbell, a little bit about the Campbells. They're all it's hard to say Campbell Camels or whatever, but really the Campbells are 0-2 on the season. They lost to the first game to Hugh Freeze and Liberty, 48-7 up in Lynchburg, Virginia, and then they played Elon last week in a hard-fought game, losing 24-23 over the Phoenix, I believe. Yep, the Elon Phoenix, and then last year went 0-4 overall in the league. Lost to Georgia Southern, 26-27 at a 1-point loss. They played Coastal Carolina last year. They lost 43-21. They played Appalachian State. They lost 52-21, and they played Wake Forest, in which they got blown out 66-14. Kind of a key players to watch for the Camels this Saturday. The quarterback, Haji Malik Williams, past Saturday against Elon, had the completions of 11 completions with 152 yards with 3 touchdowns, one interception. He's also a dual threat guy. Averaged 4.5 yards, had over 68 yards rushing. Their running back, the other running back, Lamega McDowell, averaged 3.3 yards per carry and had 59 yards. And then some of their receiving leaders as well. Caleb Snead had 3 receptions for 62 yards with 2 touchdowns and a long play of 48 yards. Jai Williams, 3 receptions for 54 yards with 1 touchdown and a long pass of 38 yards. And Dante Crow with 2 receptions for 18 yards with a long of 10 yards. And then kind of looking at the defense, Keyshawn Thompson, 9 tackles for the game this past Saturday. Taiwan Rivens with 8 tackles, and then Josh Johnson with 1 tackle for loss with 7 tackles overall. So really that's kind of the main players watching for the Campbell Camels this Saturday. And then kind of a little bit more about the team statistics. Last week had over 282 total yards overall, pretty evenly, 152 yards passing, 130 yards rushing, 16 first downs, and then only having 3 penalties. But they kind of lost time of possession, which 27 minutes and 51 seconds compared to Elon with 32:09. So really, Campbell's played really competitive against a really good Elon team last week, and kind of moving towards this game. So I know Campbell is 0-2, but I will say this about the Camels. I think looking at them overall, I think this is a team that plays really competitively. I think it's going to be a tough game for PC because you're going on the road, to a former rival that you probably had some big, probably didn't like a whole lot, and that I think that's a major. I think it's going to be a major motivator for the Camels this Saturday. And then I think for PC, I mean, kind of one of the things I'm looking at is probably 3 things. One is probably the offensive line of scrimmage and defensive line of scrimmage, because you're going to play a team that you once knew, and I think you kind of look at PC's first 2 opponents, St. Andrews and Fort Lauderdale. I mean, those are teams that are kind of like lower levels, and when you play a team at Campbell, which I think they have had success in the past. Not a big all-time record though. Only 50-87, but it's a really competitive team, and I think Mike Mentor with this team, he likes to have kind of a balance of passing and rushing. And I think if you're PC for this line of scrimmage, I'll start with the defensive side first. The one thing you want to do is, when you're playing Campbell, I think you need to make sure their quarterback doesn't have a big day. rushing the ball, but not only passing. And I think you need to limit their running game, try to limit it to less than 50 yards overall, and then force the quarterback to pass. Because the thing with a lot of these dual threat quarterbacks is that they can extend plays with their legs, because I think football is that sport where it's kind of moving in that direction. But the thing is like you want to make sure to try to stop the running game and basically get after the quarterback and make him beat you with his arm. And I think if PC can do that on the defensive line, if he can get pressure on the Camels offensive line and get on the quarterback, then I think PC has a good shot to win this Saturday. And then I think the other thing is probably his turnovers, because even though Ren Hafley had a number big game, he did throw 2 interceptions. And obviously, if you turn over the football, it's really hard to recover. Football's a momentum sport, and one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to be playing the team and have a situation where you turn over, and then it's really hard to get back in the football game, because if you turn over the football, then the other team is going to have a good chance to score a touchdown because they have the momentum on the side. And once you get down by 2 or 3 scores, then it's really hard to come back. So I think at PC, you want to take some shots downfield, but I also think you have to be pretty mindful with your play calling. And then I probably would say that this is probably the most important week of practice for the Blue Hose, because look, we all know about Kevin Kelly's philosophy. He goes for onside kicks. He never punts the ball. He goes for 2-point conversions. And I think when you look at this game this Saturday, it's a really important game, and you want to prepare really well. And I think Mike Mentor and the Camels are going to prepare really good, and I think they're going to be ready for the unexpected. And not only with the philosophy, but you also want to practice some of your trick plays as well. You want to be in a position that you can try and be successful for Saturdays.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check us out on the Radio FX app by subscribing to Presbyterian College.